Slight modification here. This bracket on one of them was off just by a little, which made the screws hard to put in. So I had to take a file and file the holes on the control arm to just slightly get enough clearance to put the bolts through. Alright now, so I was changing the control arms, the whole suspension system, the tie rods, control arms, bushings, and shocks. And this control arm here, this bolt is part of the bushing, the front bushing, and this part here is the subframe. Now on these VWs, the nut to this bolt is tack welded on inside the subframe. So after some time, and you try to unscrew this, the subframe welded on nut is gonna break off, and then you can't fucking get to it. So what you're left with is a free spinning bolt that you can't get out. And the nut inside is actually rounded because it is tacked on, it is welded on, so you can't even get to it. There's a little hole in here. This is a factory hole that's in the subframe, but what you need to do is make a bigger hole so you can get like some needle nose pliers or some kind of vise that'll grab that nut and hold it in place. So right here, and up here, I have some some drill holes. This is a factory one, so I'm just making that bigger. So eventually, I'm working my way around to make this a bigger hole, just so I can get to the nut that's inside there. You see? So that's the process. So there's the bolt that's out now, and before it wouldn't come out at all, so I had to bore that out. So here's the factory hole right here, and this right here is what I made. And it's got to go lengthwise this way, so that way you can open up a vise or a needle nose through there. Grab a hold of the nut. So. Now, there's a risk of it's obviously gonna lose its strength over time. Definitely gotta probably give it a spray paint once I get another bolt in there, and I'm gonna just put a loose nut and tighten it to keep it secure. But I'll figure what to do with this, maybe re-weld it, patch it. I'll figure that out later on, but right now the important thing was getting that nut off. Now, one second. So what you're left with is this. Now this is a round nut. Now I had to actually drill through the nut and through the bolt just to get this bitch loose. Eventually it gave, and I had to pretty much bore it all out. Now this is the bolt that was in there, and this one is a control arm. It's going through here, so you can see I ended up drilling a hole all through the nut, wherever the fuck it is. So I'm going to replace it with a regular nut. Now this is the other one. Same bushing on the control arm, but the screw wouldn't screw down, and it won't come out all the way because the oil pan is in the way. See? So you actually, to get that out, you got to lift the engine up about 2 inches to be able to pull that out. So just a heads up.